What's going on, everybody? Julie Murphy here, and I am here to help you awaken your wealth. We either work things out or we act it out, and we do it through our money, through our health, or through our relationships. And I am here to help you get to a life that you love. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and the notification bell. Why? Because we're here to get you to this place that you have always dreamed to get to. The problem is most of us have financially pigeonholed ourselves into a lifestyle that we don't really know how to exactly untangle. And so today I wanted to come on here and really dig down a little deeper to talk about how our health and our wealth are so integrated. And, I remember years ago when I wrote my first book, The Emotion Behind Money. I talk about building your wealth from the inside out. And at the time, it seemed very esoteric when it came out. And today, people understand it a little bit more. Why is that? I learned that 50% of my male clients between 55 and 65 years old, developed cancer around their hip area. And every time I tell this story, people know somebody exactly that this has happened to. I worked with Deepak Chopra for many, many years, and he talked about that a cancer cell would develop if that cell has lost its sense of purpose. So then I started asking myself, how in the heck have these people, these men between 55 and 65 years old, lost their sense of purpose? Think about it. They're providers for their families traditionally, and their kids are raised, their wives, a lot of times years ago, they were at-home moms, and so they were off and launching into a new life, and then the way they defined themselves in the world was by being the provider. And men take the provider role extremely serious. And then their jobs were dropping them like hot potatoes. All of those clients, 50% of my male clients who developed the cancer around their hip area, all of them were let go of their jobs not by their choice. Now, so how does this show up for women? For women, I've noticed throughout the years in this integration with our health and our wealth is that it often shows up in breast cancer. Because if you read books like from Louise Hay, as an example, it's called Heal Your Life or Heal Your Body, 2 books that she has. She talks about the emotional processing of how that creates our belief system, which is our limbic system in our bodies, sends messages to all parts of our bodies. And when you wind up with, if you take a look at what Deepak talks about, where a cancer cell develops because that cell has lost its sense of purpose, and then Louise Hay talks about the fact that breast cancer is a lack of self-love and self-care, that you put everybody else except ahead of yourself. And I have noticed with women who develop breast cancer, that is also the case. So where's that link between our health and our wealth? Well, what I have found is that each and every one of these people, whether it's on the male side or the female side, whether it's breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, and I've also showed up with men and women, it's showing up in autoimmune diseases that are going rampant throughout our world. It is showing up because we have forgotten how to live from a sense of adventure. So what happens as we get more financial responsibilities in our lives? We sit here and we go, okay, so we're in our 20s, we're out of school, and we're like, okay, let's go. We're all full of this piss and vinegar, and we're rocking and rolling our careers. And then we turn around and like, I think I'm going to, well, some of you may have came out with student loan debt, so you're coming right out of the gates with debt. And if you've watched some of my other videos, I talk about how it's super challenging to live in the present moment when you're paying for all your past choices, when your cash being deposited in your checking account has to go for yesterday's decisions. It puts us more into a lack of freedom, that we're like stuck. And then you add responsibilities on top of that. So we create debt. Then we have increased financial responsibility. So we decide to be in a relationship, and we decide to then you have 2 car payments, and then you decide to buy a house and you have a house payment. So now you got student loan debt, car payments, house payments, and then you decide maybe to add children onto the equation. And then there's all kinds of other debts. Maybe you didn't take the path of being in a relationship and building a family. Well, maybe you're single, but you can't get out of this credit card debt because you're the person who pays for everybody else. So we do this in our 20s and our 30s and even into our 40s for many people. And then we're processing, right? We're processing our emotions. So this spending, which creates these debt levels, actually is a lack of feeling our emotions in the present moment. It's a distraction, no different than drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, or spending. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about it as retail therapy. I'm like, I don't know how much therapy that is. That's more like creating a prison for yourself. Because if you've ever seen anybody that pays off that debt, whether it's credit card debt, student loan debt, house debt, car debt, everybody is always excited when those debts are gone. Now, you could certainly make the argument with me going, well, Jewel, but I'm only paying 2.75% of my mortgage, and why would I pay off that debt? Well, it's about the fact that you have to go to work every day to go pay for that. So how does this affect our health? Well, it affects our health because we're not truly feeling the feelings of what is actually going on in our lives, which is why the spending and the debt is usually created in the first place. I should say the overspending based on your current cash flow reality. Then on top of that, you now have this lack of feeling your emotions actually crystallizes in your physical body. And that crystallization actually creates layers over the years of your life. And that is the catalyst of disease when you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, and so on. So the only way through is by feeling those feelings that are stuck. So why do we do this? We as human beings do this because we have 2 operating systems, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. And this is based on all the research that Dr. Bruce Lipton, who's a biologist, talks about on a regular basis. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about the fact that our cells are 97% based on our experience in life. This is how we react to life. It's not our DNA. It's actually our life experiences. And every single one of us before age 7 have some kind of experience that jars us, whether it's a trauma or a rejection. It jars our internal wiring system, our nervous system. And then that now becomes the basis to how you interface and react to everything. So you're now in reactive mode as to being in an empowered mode. And this is where the debt builds up. This is where the challenging relationships show up. This is where our health challenges show up. And so this integration between our health and our wealth is no joke. So we really have to start to pay attention to how are we not going to this place of disease or spending hangovers or debt creation. Well, how we do that is not only feeling our feelings, but we have to choose, no matter what responsibilities we have, no matter how many debts we've accumulated, or lack of savings when you're in your 50s and you're like, how do I retire one day? Well, it's about you have to choose the next adventure. What do I mean by that? Well, the next adventure is about raising your vibration. It's about raising who you are and what you want to be in the world today. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. I tell clients on a regular basis, I'm like, well, which one makes you giggle more? And they look at me like, giggle? Like, I don't necessarily know if any other financial planner asks them what else makes them giggle. Well, why do I ask them what giggles? Because I know that's the tell sign that is exactly what's in alignment with their heart and soul. Not their brain where they've thought it through and all these scenarios where you got that monkey mind where it just keeps going. Not that. It's really about the fact that I need you to actually get in touch with what your heart and soul desires today. Why? Because you matter. And all these years that you've chosen debt creation or staying in a job that you don't love for the almighty paycheck for all those responsibilities that you've created in your life, all good things, you did them for all good purposes. But the challenge is that we negotiate ourselves away when we jump into that next adventure. I was reminded of this today when I talked to a couple different clients. I have one client who's staying in the job because she's got all this fear, like, am I going to be able to retire? Am I going to be able to do these things? And not sure, not sure, not sure. And I have these other clients that decided, I gave them the assignment a few years ago. I want you to just go on vacation to anywhere you think you might want to move to, because they had a lack of savings for retirement. And so they had to go live somewhere else that was lower income needed to live the lifestyle they want to live if they still wanted to retire early. Again, regardless of what reality you've created, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, it does not matter what you've created up to this point. You just have to be willing to align with your heart and your soul to get into the next adventure that makes you giggle. That makes the difference. It'll keep you healthier, you'll feel wealthier, and cash flow gets into alignment. Why? Because you're not creating spending hangovers and charging on credit cards and all this other stuff, because you love your life. And you're not putting up with stuff from your boss because you don't really want to work there anymore. And you're saying, you know what? Enough is enough. I have enough money now to do whatever I want. It's interesting to me. The minute a person gets to a place in their life where they have enough money to cover their monthly expenses off of the interest on their accounts, how they have conversations and their reviews with their boss very differently than before when they didn't have enough money. It's about stepping into your empowerment. It's about stepping into abundance as opposed to scarcity and subconscious patterning and reactivity. You're stepping into your power on this other side. And you're saying, and I don't really know why I want to do this, but I just know that I do. And guess what? I'm going to figure out a way on how to do it. There's many things today that are giving us lots of practice to not come from victim mentality to respond. Let me give you an example. My daughter was given the opportunity. Her dance school said, City of Chicago is changing a lot of things. Her dance school said, you know what? If you're not vaccinated as of this date, which the vaccines just became available for kids her age, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Still have to talk to the pediatrician about the vaccine and make sure I'm okay with that going into my single-digit age daughter. And so that all being said, she will no longer be allowed in her competition dance. And she just feels like she's been punched in the face. And I was like, no. So I help people make these empowerment decisions all day long at work. And I'm like, this situation is no different. When we have a menu of options, which one makes you feel like you're more in your power as opposed to giving your power away? And that may not be changing her dance school. It may not be that you're never going to dance again. It may not be that you're at the top competitive place to do that at. So you need to decide for you how you are going to step into your financial empowerment, your health empowerment, your job empowerment, because it's what you love today. Don't worry about yesterday. It's gone. There is nothing more that you can do about all the decisions you've made in the past. Your reality is your reality. No matter how much debt you've created, no matter how out of whack your health might be, or how you've pigeonholed yourself into a job because you're paying for all the responsible things that you signed on the dotted line for debts on, or you're responsible for other people, you are the creator of your life. So what do you want to create? Love yourself enough to actually get yourself to this next place. Now, you're not going to necessarily know the how or the why. You just know that it makes you giggle. And just set that as the intention that I'm going for my next adventure. Because when I have people in retirement, they could very easily, once that to-do list is done, you fixed all the stuff around the house and you're going on the travels and you're doing all these things. What's next? Get busy living or get busy dying. For those people in retirement, I'm always asking, what's the next adventure? Because that's what keeps you young and vibrant, no matter what your age is. And at the end of the day, the quality of our life is the most important thing. So it's about cleaning up your financial past while living in the present moment and planning for the future all at the same time. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, notification bell, because I am going to get you to a life that you absolutely love. And if you want a free copy of my book, I'm going to put it right here. We have awakenyourwealthbook.com. All you have to do is pay for your own shipping. I want to collaborate with people. I paid for the printing and everything of it. You just pay for your shipping. And I will get that for you because I want to help you get to a life that you love. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.